right. As always, I'm Bob of TalesbyBob.
I'm the Ask the Podcast Eric.
And I'm author Ben Meeks.
Hey, hey. We are back, and look at this. We have a Derek on the screen. What? What?
You
Yes.
can tell it's my favorite thing ever. Ever. But I'm here.
Yeah. So to celebrate the camera, we thought that we would listen to Ben, and we're going to try B&B.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this. This is going to be really good.
Okay. So, Ben, this is Ben's favorite drink. Me and Derek have never had it.
Hmm.
I even have my special cups that has a line right there. That's how I measure my drinks.
Yeah.
I pour them and then I stop pouring them and then I drink them. That's how I measure them.
Right.
I don't know what that smells like.
Don't get ahead on the sniff test now. We got to talk about all aspects here.
Okay.
All right.
We're sniffing.
All right, here we go. Thoughts?
I guess it smells a little whiskey-ish, maybe.
It's a little spicy, right? You smell the...
I basically never recovered my sense of smell fully from when I may or may not have had COVID. We don't know. And so...
Bob's never been known for his taste anyways.
Right?
Yeah. But it smells like an alcoholic beverage. Yes.
Yeah.
No, it smells good.
Yeah. It doesn't smell like rubbing alcohol. So,
Yeah.
which
All right.
which most of my adult life, that's what I drank. So,
True.
There you go. This will definitely be a step up for you then.
okay. So I guess let's try this then. All right.
You ready?
Cheers,
Yep,
gentlemen.
Cheers. Oh yeah. I see confused faces.
Yeah, it is not. I guess it kind of tastes like I expected, but because I just expected a really
It doesn't.
flavorful drink. It is very flavorful, but it is not the kind of
Not the way you expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you this is fire with Dr. Pepper. I like it though.
I've never mixed it, and I wouldn't. Like I drink, I
It's
just
already
drink it
mixed.
on the rocks.
That's the point, right? Like it's already mixed. It's a fine blend of French brandy and Benedictine.
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 That's what I said. Yeah.
So it's 40 proof? No, 40%. So that makes it what, 80 proof, right? Is that how that works?
Yes.
Yeah. 80 proof. For 80 proof, this does not taste like 80 proof.
No, it's smooth.
Yeah.
Right? There's not a lot of burn to it. Hardly any, actually, especially if you're drinking it on the rocks.
The burn is not in the throat. The burn is on the sides of my tongue from the spices.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's not like a burn. It's not like I just ate salsa or something, or queso with jalapenos in it. This is like just a spicy.
It smells good. I wish I had a candle that smelled like this.
Probably find something.
Huh. I kind of want to try it. I'm gonna have to try it again. Let me rephrase that. I was gonna say I'm gonna have to try it with some ice, but I don't have ice, and its bottle's gonna be gone before I have ice, more likely than not, because it's good.
Yeah.
But I do want to try it again when I have ice, or when it's cold. Have you ever refrigerated it or tried it like that?
No. I've always just on the rocks. I've never needed to, but yeah, you could totally put it in the freezer. And
the only reason I haven't done that, and this is one of those things that I've learned the more I've drank more whiskey, is I usually, when I was drinking whiskey, or when I would drink it more frequently than I do now, having the first drink with a bit of ice kind of numbs it up so that it's not so intense when it hits my tongue, because the pain of the whiskey on the first one kind of dilutes it a little bit. The coldness kind of mellows the flavor a little bit. But if you just get it cold, then it does kind of some of that anyways, and then you don't lose some of the flavor with the water dilation.
Mhm.
But I don't know.
Well, as I learned through all the whiskey tastings we did over the past year or so, um, I prefer with just a little bit of water or like ice that is slightly melted a little bit. That's kind of
Yeah.
where I most like my liquor. So
I think I do too, but the thing is it's not like a weakness factor. It's more because, and I know it's kind of a trope, but they say it frees up the flavors, but it
yeah,
does.
it does.
It really does.
When I did the first time I did it was at the Heaven Hill Distillery. They had you for every thing that you tried. They did like a half-ounce pour for you to try it, and then they did another half-ounce pour, and they you had an eyedropper there with water, and you were supposed to squeeze like 2 drops of water in it, 2 or 3, I can't remember, and try it, and it really does make a significant difference in the flavor. Um, and I in every instance I liked it more with just like a drop or 2 of water, just from a flavor profile wise.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which I kind of, and I used to be the guy that was like, oh, you just like it more because it's watering it down and it's not as intense. Like, that's not really the case because you can take barrel strength stuff and put a little bit of water in it, and I still think it tastes better. Well, I guess it is. I guess that is that it's still watering it down some, but I don't know.
yeah.
I just feel like it does something to it that I prefer. So, yeah.
So we talked about this before Derek logged on, but we are Books, Beards, Booze. I'm Bob. He's Ben. We're
And
drinking B&B. But Derek, you're you're a D. So so
What's your
we
point?
we came up with Ben's suggestion was that you could just become Barrick. My suggestion was that we call you Bo, as in Bo Derek. So
this is so much better with the camera.
Yeah, you're gonna see my reactions to his nonsense.
oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Why are you the way that you are?
Oh, okay. So here's for the people
do
who
I have to run down the beach or like wear a fuzzy bikini or anything? Because that's not gonna work for me.
well, I just
or for anyone.
Bo Derek was tall. You're tall. It makes sense, you know. So for those who were not at Con Carolinas, me and Ben were there. At the time this comes out, it'll have been like a month or and a half ago, but it just happened for us. And I won the geeky dad joke contest.
Shocker.
Yeah, no, it was, and I will admit that there was a guy there who he got robbed, um, because he literally every dad joke he told was super geeky. Um, I mean, extremely geeky to the point where a lot of folks were like, "I don't get it."
What kind of geek are we talking though?
Oh, he'd be like,
Scientific.
yeah,
I was
very.
gonna say, are we
He
science geek or are we talking nerd geek?
Science geek.
Different thing.
He was
Okay, well that would
actual NASA scientist. Okay.
that sounds about right. Yeah.
And he would tell like, so we got any chemists in the crowd, and he would tell like chemistry jokes. Like, we got any math lovers in the crowd? And I was like, I write books just so I can never have to deal with math again. So no. But he just kept going through, and like he'd get like a couple folks, but oh yeah, I like chemistry. And then he's like, we have any particle physicists in the crowd? It was like, yes, that's it. That's the one.
That is our.
That is it. You hit the crowd. That's what we are.
You nailed it, bud.
Yeah. So I won just based on like, because it wasn't like any one joke. It was like body of work kind of deal. But I was so proud of this joke. I'm going to tell it again. Because this was a
here we go.
100%.
I've heard this like 8 times.
I know, because I'm so proud of it.
Yeah.
100% Bob original, honest to God, true story. Me and Ben, we shared a table. We were on one side of the escalators. On the other side of the escalators, Darren Kennedy was selling his books. And he's a bit, he's not like a hugely bigger name author than me, but he is more well known than me. And so he sold someone a book, and they asked for a bag, so he gave them an Olive Garden bag. I guess he'd had Olive Garden for lunch or something. He gave him this bag, and he told me later that his reasoning was it was a very large bag, and he thought psychology they would want to fill the bag, and so it kind of held out because that person then went on to go buy other books, including came around, bought a book from our table. Okay, cut pan. A few hours later, I'm on a panel, and someone asked the question, how do you get comfortable being a small name author asking a bigger name author for help? Uh, and I told that exact thing that I just told y'all about the book, Olive Garden bag, yada, yada, yada. So I told him that, and I said, and the reason that helped me is because it showed me that even a big name author like Darren Kennedy suffers from imposter syndrome.
My response to that is this.
Yeah. Do we have a cricket sound loaded up anywhere?
Oh God,
You're lucky
so
I'm not. I just.
Oh, it was so good, so good. I was so proud of that.
Oh wait, no. Here we go. Here's my reaction to that.
Just got the camera off and leave.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, it was. I was real proud of that one. And I won. So, and I told them that joke. So clearly, there's something to it.
That's what sealed the deal. It wasn't probably the innumerable puns that you didn't require the build up or anything that you just had to.
We were supposed to have like 5 people on that panel, and only 3 of us showed, and it was a late night panel, and I kind of like fairly quickly kind of ran through everything I could come up off the top of my head. And so then I was either left to riff on a joke that they made, or I just got up Facebook and searched hashtag Bob's bad joke of the day, and just started going through and just reading those off.
Smart.
So, but yeah,
that repository of knowledge there, yeah.
So
library of Alexandria of jokes,
just the worst jokes imaginable. But yeah, so the moral of that story is come to Con Carolinas in the future, buy books from us, and drink B&B.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I fuck with it.
Yeah, it's pretty sporty.
Yeah, and it's
like
every sip gets a little bit better because it's like the first sip is just so bizarre. It's like, what the fuck is this? But like every sip after that,
expect.
Yeah, every sip after that is like I'm getting used to it. It's like, oh, this is real good.
My thing is I don't know if it's like sweet, but it is
sweet.
It is sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's sweet, but it's spice.
Yeah.
As well, which is a weird combination.
The closest,
because it's not hot spice. It's like what would you call that? Just flavor spice.
The same type of spice you get from whiskey. It's like it's spice notes, it's stuff like that, which is always the thing that's weird about whiskey is like I like the spice, but I'm not a big fan of that corn sweetness. So when I bought this, I know I mentioned it to you guys, but I didn't mention it to everybody else. But I bought a bottle of, I think it was called Sweet Home, something like that.
Alabama whiskey.
Alabama whiskey.
Yeah, it was okay, but it was really sweet. It was corn heavy, so it's got that corn heavy sweetness, and like it was sweeter than this, or it didn't have the same like spice profile. So I actually like this more than I like that, just because I don't know. Normally, so Ben, and I know I've told Bob this. I don't think I've mentioned it on here with you, but like I like my alcohol to taste like alcohol, so it doesn't sneak up on me. So like so I always get nervous if I'm drinking something sweet. I'm like, let's calm down with that.
This will sneak up on me, but I think it's mostly because I really don't drink a lot. Like the last drink I had before today was at Jordan Con. with Bob,
Yeah.
2 months ago now?
Yeah. And
So
same for me.
I'm probably going to be feeling this in a minute, which will make for fun recording.
Yeah.
I was about to say, there's a good chance I might have a glass with each of the recordings.
Yeah.
So by the end of it,
the closest thing that I can compare it to that I've had is Red Stag.
really.
So
Yeah.
I mentioned this when I was telling you about B&B to begin with, but there's a drink called a Godfather.
Yeah.
Which is a mix, and it has the exact same beginning and middle as this, but with a different finish. But you don't have to mix this ahead of time, so it's a lot easier.
Yeah, I'm at the stage of my life where I'm not trying to mix anything. I'm either going to drink a beer or I'm going to drink it on ice.
Bob, you're missing out. You got to get that White Claw life. You just gotta go for it.
Claws of law, baby. Claws of law.
Here we are. So Godfather is 2 ounces blended Scotch or bourbon and a 1/4 ounce of amaretto.
Ooh, I do love an amaretto sour. That was one of the drinks at our wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Is that that's what that site said.
Yeah, I could see where that could taste similar to this ish.
The Godfather is a cocktail made with amaretto and Scotch whiskey that has a pleasant, smoky, and sweet taste. The almond liqueur sweet nuttiness complements the Scotch's oaky, smoky notes. The cocktail is best served cold and sipped slowly.
Yeah,
there you go.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds like this because this is made in oak barrels. It says.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, neat. All right.
There we go.
Yep.
I think this has to become the official drink of Book Spirits Booze until further notice.
I was going to say until we change it with the next thing that we found that we like, which we all don't drink that much. So
yeah, just alliteration. You know, BBB BB. Having a B&B while listening to BBB. Hey, baby.
Needs more B's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is booze, and it has 2 B's.
Oh,
so
it is.
So really, it's
3 B's already.
It's all 3.
Yeah. Too appropriate. Derek, we'll workshop your name.
I appreciate that.
I don't know how difficult it is to legally change a name in Alabama, but we'll look into it. So,
does legality really? I mean, you just start calling somebody a thing, and it just kind of sticks.
We are consummate professionals on this podcast. How dare you imply that
we would? Remember you said that in a couple of episodes when we have a conversation that we'll have.
Yeah. All right. Well, in the coming week, this is going to drop at some random point. It may drop tomorrow. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's going to drop at some point in between regularly scheduled episodes. So, but in the coming week, I hope that you take some time to track down a bottle of B&B if you like to drink. You pour yourself a nice cold glass with some friends, sitting someplace comfortably, possibly on a back porch, sipping, listening to the screams of the cicadas, and may the blessing of the beard be upon you.
Cheers.